Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. I work with a lot of avoidant individuals, particularly dismissive avoidant, but I do also work with fearful avoidance, but they typically are leaning dismissive. So that's really important to know. I work with individuals, couples, and sometimes families. So I see a lot of variant interpersonal relationships and how these kind of react in terms of not just social situations, but conflict, right? How they behave emotionally towards one another and different ways of attachment towards another individual, how they act towards their mother, how they act towards their girlfriend, how they act towards their husband. So these types of things are what I view. And so I do have a lot of knowledge of how these relationships play out in the beginning, middle, end. And today I wanted to go over a topic that I think a lot of people are curious about, but what really inspired me to make this current video is because this topic came up in one of my sessions with a couple that I was working with about gratitude. The individual, which obviously these are just examples, right? But this happens a lot, so it's not like I'm giving out their information. A couple, sometimes the anxious preoccupied or the partner of the avoidant, let's say it's a dismissive avoidant male, we got an anxious preoccupied female. She's saying, I do so much for him, I don't think he's grateful. Like, I do not feel grateful. And I don't feel like he's grateful for me. Like, there's no gratitude, there's no appreciation, or the appreciation is not obvious, right? He doesn't say that he's so happy to have me, so lucky to have me. He doesn't compare me to other girlfriends, that I'm the best. And yeah, she's right. He doesn't do that. But he kind of was like, no, I am grateful. And these are kind of the aspects that I want you to know is how I show you I'm grateful. This is the way I am. I just want you to know I am grateful, and I'll make a point to say it more, but I've been grateful. Like, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. And so some of these points are based on that, but in general, this is a conversation that happens a lot in session because people want to know, are you grateful? Because I've sacrificed a lot for you. So the first one is they share positive news with you, and they're often excited about expressing this, right? I got a promotion, and maybe they text it, right? Like, I got a promotion, they get like explanation points, and avoidants are not very expressive. So maybe they're a little more expressive about this. They feel safe and comfortable sharing this with you because you matter to them, you're valuable to them, and they feel like who they are is not going to be judged. Their expression and their emotion, when they were growing up, being excited, they actually literally, their parents or their caregiver might say, like, what are you so excited about? Like, it's not that big of a deal. That's what you should do. Like, why are you so proud? That's what you should do. But they feel like most people will react like that, but they don't feel like you would. They trust you. They love you. They're grateful for you. They're so happy that they can put their emotions towards you and it's safe. And so this is a sign that they do that. The next one is they do express appreciation. Now, it's typically not as over the top, which if that's what you want, maybe they can work on that. But they do say thank you. Maybe you cook them breakfast and they say thank you, or, I like your cooking, or, they might compliment, I appreciate how smart you are, or, I really love how you make, angel food cake. And their version of appreciation comes from their value towards you. Like, they might mention like more tangible things. That's why I mentioned cooking. But another one could be like compliments of your intelligence, right? Like, you're so good at your job. They appreciate that, right? They appreciate the skills that you have, the skill set, because they do feel like that integrates well in their life. And so this is how they're grateful. They're grateful that you are intelligent. They're grateful that you can cook. The next one is that your partner makes time for you. Life is pretty busy, and avoidant individuals tend to have pretty busy lives. They like to, especially dismissive avoidants like to be busy. Like, they want, I don't know, it's just the way a lot of dismissive avoidants are. It just is the way they operate. And it's probably not something they're going to change right away, or probably not entirely, but they still prioritize you. Their action of your presence, right? They want you in their life. They make time to see you. They talk to you. They call you. They text you. This means that they are so happy that they have someone consistent in their life that they can lean on if it gets bad. They know that you're not going to leave. They're grateful. They're grateful you're here. The next one, avoidants do this, both fearful and dismissive. And a lot of y'all know that avoidants do this, is they send you photos of things that they're doing in their life. Maybe they just got a new pool table for their basement and they sent you a picture and they just text it to you. They just do it. Like they are grateful, they appreciate you, they love you, and they want you to know what they're feeling and what they're excited about, right? Like this is excitement towards them. They feel really happy. They feel like you're not going to judge them. Judgment hinders their gratitude typically, because they are afraid that they're going to be a burden to you. So if they are opening up to you, that shows that they're grateful because they feel happy in their life and they feel like you're something stable in their life. And a lot of avoidants, dismissive avoidants especially, love stability. Fearful avoidants actually would prefer stability, but sometimes stability can scare them. And so they may react to stability, but dismissive avoidants do not do that. But both dismissive and fearful, they will send photos. Dismissive does it more. But the next one is they tell you they're grateful. They may actually say they're grateful. Now, if your partner has not said this, ask them, are you grateful that I'm in your life? They will probably answer the truth. And that's one way to really know that your partner is grateful. And the very last one is they make effort to change themselves. And typically it comes and follows after you made some change. This is common with both fearful and dismissive, but I'd say it's a little more common with fearful avoidance. I guess it depends though. It really does. If you made some change, they may want, and they actually feel very grateful of the change you made. Maybe you said, I'm sorry for texting you, so much during the workday. I'm going to make sure I don't do that. And you actually made effort and you no longer do that, or you don't do it as frequently. They're very grateful for that. And so what they do to show their gratitude is they do the same thing in return. They heal something that you've been wanting or you've been asking. And the reason that they do that is because sometimes, and this is why this is a little more common with fearful avoidant, they might actually feel guilty that you did something for them and they feel like they don't deserve it. This one is how the fearful avoidant may feel more so. And so they don't feel like they should just take it. They want to give it back to you. Right? Dismissive avoidance, why they do it is actually not that reason typically. The reason dismissive avoidants do that is because they feel like, okay, now it's safe for me to change as well. I'm really grateful this relationship is doing really well and my partner is changing. Okay, so now that means that if I change, I'm not going to be the one who's, going to lose if this relationship ends, or I'm not the one who's always going to be rolling over and doing what my partner says. I don't have to be their servant or whatever. It's already clear that they are taking responsibility for their side. So now I'm okay with taking responsibility too. And so those are kind of the reasons that avoidant individuals are grateful. Part of the reason that avoidant individuals may not directly say they are grateful is because sometimes relationships, it's hard for them to really understand the benefit of it until they get into it much more deeper. So one way to prompt this, if you want them to be more aware of their gratitude, is you can say, I've noticed that we've made a lot of progress and I'm really proud of us. What do you think? It'll help them to recognize. Or you can say, I'm really proud of us. Like my best friend, she just got out of a 2-year relationship and they've been together for a while, but I'm so surprised. I remember when they got together, we were still in our relationship. And among all of my friends, I'm so surprised that, me and you have lasted for this long. We've been together for 5 years. Like, I'm proud of us. What do you think? And so bringing those things up help the avoidant individual to be more aware of how valuable relationships are, because they sometimes are not aware. And so that's why it's important. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.